It's just exciting. It felt great. A lot of emotions. My adrenaline was really pumping. Kind of lost my breath because I was too excited. So yeah, that's it.
How do you think you guys as a secondary performed, and what do you see as things you guys can improve on here from this game?
I think we did well, but I think we still have a lot of room for improvement. We obviously gave up that touchdown pass that's unacceptable from at least my standpoint, and a lot of our standpoints is unacceptable. So I think we're going to go back to the drawing board next week and prepare for UND and get better.
Big game for you. You seemed pretty elusive out of the backfield, whether it was a run or a catch. Just what was today like for you?
It was just a lot of fun out there. Kind of full offensive package was coming at them. They've been playing a lot of things, fullback, slot, and stuff. I knew that was going to happen this spring, and we just had a bad taste in our mouth from the last couple of weeks, and I think we had probably two of the harder weeks we've ever had here for an off week at NDSU, and we put a lot of work in, and it just paid off today.
Chase, you've been looking at that package for a while. Has it been something you've been looking at, hey, when are we going to finally unveil this?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, we put in all kinds of plays that could open me up like that in practice, and just kind of waiting for it to hit like that, and it was just good to get out there and break loose a couple times.
Nick, the defense after what you call a disappointing performance, how do you think overall you guys played today?
I think we came out hungry. We definitely had a lot to prove for coming from the last game. Like Jay said, we had a good 2 weeks of practice, both sides of the ball. I mean, we really emphasized a lot of things and play hard, and I think we came out and did a good job. So.
Nick, what kind of difference did CJ make?
It definitely gives you that the maturity in the secondary. We love having him out there. He's a playmaker, so anytime we can have a guy that can make plays out in the secondary and give us that confidence, and it adds a comfortability to the defense.
Game changer.
I guess how confident were Carson with his ankle, and then when he had that big run on the first drive, that kind of just cemented that he was ready to go?
Yeah, I don't think Carson or any of us were ever worried. Carson's probably the most competitive guy I know, so I don't care if his ankle was broken. He was going to play out there, and he'd play 100%. He was gonna ball out. So I don't think we were too worried about Carson, and I don't think it really bugged him out there.
Chase, growing up in Moorhead, did you ever watch Tyler Jangler? Did you know about him?
I didn't know too much about him. I'm sure I watched him a few times. Probably didn't really know, but I learned a lot about him from Coach Roll. I know he's a great guy, and I kind of, Coach Roll made it sound like he's exactly what Bison Pride is, and I know it's been tough for that family and for a lot of Bison Nation. So, my condolences go out to that family, and that's just a tough loss.
Growing up in Moorhead, did you ever dream about having a day like this for NDSU?
Absolutely. I was a big Bison fan growing up, so it kind of worked out, me coming here and playing, and it's just it's fun to play like that, and hopefully the community Moorhead, they probably enjoyed that too. So that was a fun time.
Nick, you touched on it a little bit, but you happen to hear the talk for 2 weeks, having that off week. What was it like to come out and really have a pretty dominant defensive performance today?
Yeah, absolutely. We were happy to come out and get that first 3 and out right away, and I think that gave us a lot of confidence going forward in the game. And like we said, we were just ready to come out and have a fast start compared to how we played Montana. So, yeah.
Nick, what do you think, I guess, you as a defense had to prove to maybe yourselves after that first performance, or what did you really improve on the game one?
I think more just consistency and making plays. It was hard with the Montana, the no huddle, trying to get everything squared away. I think it was, coming from that, it gave us, some time to really relax, not really relax, but, focus on the play and what we had to do, and I think it just helped out a lot.
When did it feel like you were okay to play?
Tuesday and Wednesday I pushed it pretty hard this week in practice, and then I didn't practice Thursday, stayed off at Friday so I could feel as well as I could today, and it felt well.
How big was that first touchdown run? I mean, was that to you the signal that it was okay having to make some guys miss and take it in?
No, I was out way before warm-ups, running around quite a bit and making sure it was loose and ready to go, and I told Coach it was fine and call whatever you want to call, and I'm ready to go.
There are no adjustments on your end as far as looking to throw instead of run? I mean, this was just you playing as you normally would?
Yep.
Can you talk about having Chase as a target, not just as a guy to hand the ball off to, but you're throwing to him now as well?
Chase was a beast today and has been for a while. But I don't know what I ended up with yards-wise, but I'm sure over half of it was Chase just running with the ball after the catch, it makes my job easier. And he was a beast today. He was on a mission, so it's nice to have him both running the ball and catching it.
The screenplay where he had to make some guys miss, looked like it might have been a short game, and then he turned it around touchdown.
Well, I mean, that's my best friend. All I got to do is throw it 3 yards, and he does the rest of the work, and I get all the passing yards for it. So it's a pretty sweet deal, if you ask me.
Coming off after the loss and a couple of weeks off, and hearing all the talk, and then coming out and proving them wrong, I guess, today.
Yeah, it was good. We had two long weeks of preparation for him, and I thought we had a good game plan, and we came out and executed. I think I liked the way we kind of grinded them down there in the second half. I don't know. I think we were close to 600 yards offense, if I'm not mistaken. So that's anytime you're even in that vicinity, that's a heck of a day. So I thought we came out ready to roll today.
CJ, today was 9 months in the waiting. How difficult was this, just the wait to finally play?
It was probably the toughest time of my life. Just being out and having to watch everything from summer workouts and fall camp. It was really hard, but I grew a lot during that time, and I became a better leader too.
When was the first time you really went all out, CJ, full bore in practice? I mean, has it been recent, like a week or?
Yeah, it was I believe last Friday, I believe. Yeah.
Carson, you could describe the last 2 weeks of practice. We heard it was as intense as it has been in a long time.
Yeah, it really was. I didn't practice that first week, so I kind of got to observe and almost be a coach, and that was some intensity. A lot of guys were pissed off from the loss, real bitter taste, and we were getting after it in practice, and it paid off for us.
How beneficial was that week off just to rest the ankle?
I mean, personally, it was a giant blessing in disguise. I know a lot of guys were kind of chomping at the bit to get back out there and play, and we had to wait our 2 weeks. But for me, I was extremely thankful, and like I said, a blessing in disguise to get that week off to rest the ankle.
Would you have been able to go last week?
Probably not.
UND's next game, Chase, UND's up next. What do you think about playing UND for the first time in whatever?
I'm excited to play them. It's going to be another game, and we're going to be 0-0 after today, going into next week and looking to go 1-0. And I know there's a lot of history with UND, and it's just going to be fun to get that rivalry back.
You're a North Dakota guy, Carson. Is this something you're looking forward to?
I mean, you're going to hear us say it all week. We're just going to treat it like another game, so that's what we're doing.